All right, guys, we're live on the Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Allen. And in case you haven't noticed, I've been gone for a couple weeks, right? I've been gone for a couple weeks. And that is due to I battled the COVID-19. I talked about this a lot, and I work in healthcare industry, and I've avoided it for like 2 years. And I came down with it on February the 1st. And I'll talk just a little bit about it. But anyway, I apologize for being gone. It kind of whacked me a little bit. I had the shot and everything, shots, I had all that good stuff, and it hit me pretty good, really, actually. So anyway, I'm just doing a live stream tonight. Just kind of touch base with with you guys, let you know what's going on. There's been some changes. About 3 weeks back, I had Pastor Woody as a guest, and that was a really nice podcast. I really did enjoy that. And we got more guests coming down the pike. I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Of course, had the setback because of the COVID. And I tell you what, I'm still kind of fighting it a little bit. I'm back to halfway normal. But anyway, I'll just share a little bit with that about that with you guys, if you don't mind. Now, I know it's been running rapid. I had the Omicron, whatever you want to call it, variant. I felt pretty good, on a weekend. It started actually on a Tuesday, but it actually rewind and started like on a weekend. I noticed I was just kind of getting a little tired and just kind of not feeling quite myself, and started getting some headaches. And I thought, wow, that's kind of weird. So, take the Advil and stuff and think, well, it's just sinus. It's wintertime here in the Midwest and all that. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of snow, and, I get sinus problems with all that, right? So anyhow, so I get the headaches, right? So I was taking the Advil for a couple of days, and finally the headache kind of subsided a little bit, rather. And then the dead giveaway was I was ending my shift at work, and I started getting kind of a scratchy throat. And I thought that's just kind of weird, I get a sore throat, and again, pretty typical for this time of year. So I stop at my local CVS pharmacy on the way home and get the home kit. And man, I did the test. I didn't really think I really didn't think I had COVID, really. And did the test, and man, supposed to wait like 15 minutes. And within 3 minutes, bam, I had double red lines. Man, I was positive. I thought, whoa, I got COVID, man. Here I was talking about it and everything, and I had it. So long story short of it, I called my boss and everything worked. I test again at the medical facility. And it was positive. So I was lucky. Lucky in the respect that I had 5 days mandatory off, so I had a little time to try to recoup from it. That's the quarantine time now for us. So I quarantined and had the sore throat for like 3 days. That thing, it was vicious. Got worse. Would not go away. Finally, in 3 days, it finally went away. I didn't think it was ever going to go away. And then I started just feeling really tired. And I started kind of getting into my lungs. I was a little concerned about that. My lungs started tightening up. I started getting a lot of coughing. And I've really been coughing for like 3 weeks, although it subsided a lot. But there for a while, I was like coughing like crazy. And it was a little concerning. But I'm bouncing back. I got a birthday at the end of this month. I'll be 58. Happy birthday to me. And I'm not young anymore, So it took me a little while to bounce back. But as you guys know, if your first time hitting my podcast, I appreciate it. Subscribe and like and all that good stuff. Hit the bell and all that. Hey, I drink coffee on the show, and today, guys, I show off the coffee mug. That's the Pro Bass Shops, and it's the Black Rifle coffee. I got this for my son for Christmas last year, or 2020. So, and today, and I got some announcements to make too when it comes to the coffee. Today, I'm not drinking CW coffee. Actually, I think I'm drinking partial CW coffee, but my CWE coffee is almost gone. And here's the sad news. I'll never be able to get CWE coffee again. Oh, no. I love CWE coffee, man. I endorse CW coffee here on this podcast. And guess what? I got a hold of Tim, and he said, you know what? I'm retiring. I'm getting out of the business. I went, oh, man. I said, when? He goes, now. So yeah, Tim, good luck in your endeavors and stuff out there, and good luck to Tim. But man, the CWE coffee is gone. Now, I don't know if someone's going to take it over or not. He said he'd let me know. if someone is taking that company over, I will continue to endorse it. And I will continue to buy from the new owners, but it was a really good coffee, and it's just a shame that it's gone. But anyway, today I'm drinking. This is kind of a mix between Jack's Donuts and a little bit of CWE I had left over. I'm drinking to health and surviving COVID-19. Oh my gosh, guys, I just can't believe it. I can't believe that I actually had COVID-19. I mean, in a way, I can't believe it because it's been just going crazy all over the place. And I actually, and realistically, I thought it was just going to be a matter of time before I got it, and I did. So, but that being said, I'm getting over it, and I consider myself lucky because a lot of people have not been getting over it. A lot of people have been getting hospitalized for it. And actually, I had an episode back in December. This has been a tough couple months for me. I'll just tell you guys right now. I've been one of these guys for years and years and years and years. Never hardly get sick. I take pretty good care of myself. I take vitamins. I eat pretty good. I eat right. I don't smoke. I haven't smoked in like years and years. I never really even consider myself a smoker. I drink very little as far as alcohol. Very little. May have a drink once in a great while, right? Drink more in the summertime, but still not very much. But anyway, it's just really weird. I just felt like I've taken really good care of myself all these years. I've never really had to go to the hospital except for maybe ER. There's only been a couple times in my life where I've had really a hard flu that's really messed me up for days. But back in December 10th, actually, that for 4 days, I ended up in the hospital and they ran tests and stuff on me. Couldn't figure out what that was. And to kind of rewind what happened back in December, started having really bad pain here. And I talked about this in previous podcasts. Just had a real bad pain behind my eye, real bad headache right here behind my eye, stuff like that. Long story short of it, started getting double vision over here. Thought I was having a stroke, went to ER. Went to prompt care first. They told me I had a sinus infection, right? They said, yeah, you don't really. And I even told her, I said, hey, I'm getting a little bit, vision's getting a little wonky and a little bit double vision thing going on. They said, this is a sinus infection. So they give me an antibiotic and send me home. Well, that was like on a Wednesday. And by Saturday, I was in ER. And by Saturday night, I was admitted to the hospital. They ran a bunch of tests. It all came out negative. I didn't have a stroke. I didn't have MS. I didn't have all these things. I didn't have an autoimmune disease I thought I had, arthritis and all this stuff. They ran all these tests and they all came back negative, which was good, but they never did come. And here's where I'm going with this, guys. They never could come to the conclusion of what caused this. They called it a vasculitis, but they really didn't know what caused it. So I work, I get off the 3-week leave. I get back to work at the end of December. Well, actually the 1st of January 4th, I get back to work. I worked the whole dang gone month, and then February 1, bam, I'm off for 6 days because of COVID. It was actually 6 days, 5-day quarantine. I took an extra day because I was still coughing a lot. So anyway, I was off 6 days for COVID. And so here's my theory. Even though they tested me back in, and you guys comment below or whatever, if you're on the chat, if you get on the chat, just please, feel free to chat a little bit. I feel like this is what happened. And they tested me for COVID back in December like 5 times and it was negative every time. I feel like it was COVID the entire time. I feel like I had COVID back in December, and I feel like the virus was lodged back behind my eye. And, if you're testing up your nose, they're not going to, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's doctors that watch this, but from my understanding, if you're swabbing in the nose and don't collect the virus, a sample of the virus or whatever the chemistry, it's going to show negative. I feel like the virus was buried back in here somehow behind my eyes, and somehow they missed it. They missed the COVID, and I really feel like it is COVID because they're finding out now that COVID can cause double vision. COVID can cause all these things that I had back in December as well. So you go forward about 30 more days, I get the COVID, right? COVID, and then I take the test and it shows positive. So I know for sure that I got the COVID. But I feel like my whole problem all along from the middle of December till now has been COVID-19, has been the COVID, been the SARS virus. I really do think that. So anyway, that was why I was off for a couple of weeks. Wow. And I barely got that podcast in with Pastor. That was in between. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. I appreciate you, watching my little podcast. I do have guests coming on. Since it's a live setting, it shows a little more of my little studio room back there behind me. In case you guys are wondering, the shelving back there, the white shelving is all my effects pedals I have. They're called because I'm a musician and I have effects gear. Those are called what they actually call stomp boxes. It's old school effects gear and different things back there. I finally got those organized. I'm back on the music thing again. Matter of fact, Crossroads Saints are going to rehearse on February 26th for the first time in a year and a half since we got out of the studio. We're actually going to dust off the instruments and see if we can still play. That'll be interesting, but I think it'll work out good. But I'm going to share some toys, and I'm kind of switching off of COVID now to the music. Because you guys know I had COVID. You guys know that. A lot of people had COVID. I did well so far with it, and praise God and all that good stuff. I'm back. So anyway, we're going to talk about music. So anyway, while I was off with COVID, I decided to pick me up a few toys I've been wanting for a long time. If you guys are musicians, guitar players, whatever you want to comment on this one I'm getting ready to show, please do. I bought one of these. I love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is better than advertised, guys. This is better than advertised, man. I hook it up to my Marshall rig, and it just sounds great. I've been like playing along with Van Halen stuff, and I mean, it is just cool as can be, right? It's very, 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 very cool. I love that. And speaking of Eddie Van Halen, on top of the Eddie Van Halen thing, my wife was nice enough for Valentine's Day / my birthday or whatever. Just, I want you to feel better, John, because I was kind of down in the dumps. I was kind of depressed about being in the hospital in December and then catching COVID. It really was a downer. But she bought me this. Excuse me. Isn't that great? If I cough a little bit, guys, it's still the COVID. Excuse me. But that is a book I'm going to dive into, Eruption. And the Eddie Van Halen interviews, man. Diving into that dude, that's him back in the day, right? The famous picture. I love that picture of Eddie. And then more recent, a few years before, unfortunately, he passed. The man, not the myth, but man in the legend right there. He was never a myth. Eddie Van Halen. He's still one of my favorite guitar players that I admire. To this day, the guy was phenomenal. His son, Wolfgang, is doing really well, too. I'm a big fan of Wolfgang. If you're a fan of Van Halen, period, comment below. Wolfgang and Mammoth, his band, those guys are really great, really great. I just love his music. And people say, well, he doesn't play anything like his dad. No, he doesn't. He's not going to play his dad's music. He's playing his own, and I love his own music. His own music is just kick, and kick. Just so kicking, guys. Let me check a thing out here real quick. I'm going to take care of this little problem right here. I hate it when you have like a, pop-ups on your computer while you're doing something. I just hate pop-ups anyway. I hate commercials. I hate pop-ups on the computer. You guys can't see it, but I can see it. I'm right here. I'm trying to read the chat and pop-ups, right? Pop-ups. Can't stand it. Hate pop-ups. If you hate pop-ups, comment below. I'm from the Midwest and it's rainy and cold, but at least there's not snow right now. Anyway, guys, I'm just glad to be back. Really, I'm just doing this podcast tonight just because I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be above ground. I'm going to be honest. So many people died of this COVID. I'm happy to be above the ground. I'm happy to enjoy good coffee. But you know what? Like I said, CWE is gone. I won't promote it anymore because it's out there. So I'm going to look at other coffees. I do like the Black Rifle. I've talked about that. I'm probably going to get Black Rifle, Trader Joe's. I'm going to look at some other coffees and investigate those. If you guys have a coffee company or a coffee, I like the small ones too, small companies. So if you know any coffee company you would like for me to shout out to, please put the name below in the comments or whatever. Just say, Johnny, I like this coffee, man. Check it out. I know Woody mentioned, I think it was Storyteller Coffee or something like that. I have to go look back. I apologize for not remembering it. I think, but he's got it on the podcast with him. He endorses the coffee. That's really good. Okay, I talked about guests. So here in a few weeks, I'm going to have another guest on. I'm going to have my good buddy Steve Harbaugh on. And we're going to be talking about this book. Steve wrote this book a while back. It's called The Discipling. Okay. And he's interviewed a bunch of people. I've just started to get into this book a little bit. So we're going to get into this book. And in a few weeks, we're going to have Steve on and we're going to talk about his book. And from what I've been getting out of it so far, it's pretty good. It's a lot of testimony. You know, I talked about God and believing in God, whether you do believe in God or not or whatever. But people that are faith-based and they've had testimonies and they've their stories are just incredible. I mean, if you've ever heard anybody that can talk about their testimony and waking up from a bad dream, so to speak, and discovering God and how things getting better in their life. There's a lot of incredible stories like that, but we're going to talk about a little bit of that in the book. You could talk to Steve and you guys get to know Steve. He's a musician as well, and he's really pretty good. He's a guitarist and a drummer, and he's pretty good at it. He was in the Hopeful Band with me when I had the Hopeful Band, the charity band that we had together, which I miss that band a lot. That band was a really good band, great cover band, a charitable band. Of course, we lost our singer, Rob Webb, a few months back, and that's been tough. I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Whether the people that are watching my podcast or subscribe that personally know me or who don't know me at all, it's been a tough couple years. It really has. I mean, and between all of the troubling things that go on, I still try the best I can to keep a positive attitude. I think it's the way to go. Keep a positive attitude as best as you can, you know, because I've lost friends. I've lost family to diseases, one to suicide, as you know. Shoot. And it seems like some things that I really, really like have disappeared. Even something simple as CW coffee. It's like, man, I just really love and it's gone, you know? So life's ever changing and you got to roll with it, right? I mean, I just got to roll with it. If you guys got any comments on anything below, just, you know, chat. I talked to a good friend of mine today, a coworker that I ran into that I don't see very often. She's in doesn't work directly in my department, but she's someone I know and have known for years. And every once in a while I bumped into her today. Sharon, if you're watching the podcast, I'm going to share the story about you, but ran into Sharon. I didn't realize that she had lost her son. She's lost a couple of her kids. I couldn't even imagine losing one of your children or grandchildren or anything. It's just, it's wow. I told her I was very sorry. Another coworker of mine just lost his wife this week to cancer. I mean, you know, I talked to Pastor Woody about, like, you know, why do bad things happen to good people, you know, and that is just something that is hard. And I got one answer for it. There you go. That's why bad things happen to good people. My wife was actually Cuban. I talked about the Satan swatter, and there it is. You guys have to go back a couple episodes to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm just kind of, this is live, shooting off the cuff, sharing my COVID experience. If you guys have had COVID and want to share some of your experiences, feel free. We take notes. COVID people, we take notes. You know, another thing too about COVID, getting back to that again. You know what's funny is some people say, it's just a cold. COVID's just a cold. And some people freak out and they panic and they wear all this stuff and they're afraid that they're going to die as soon as they get it. You have like the two extremes, right? You have the two extremes of people that with this COVID-19 thing. Personally, I'm tired of it, especially after having it. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done with COVID. I'm so done with it. Just want life to be normal. But I can tell you, with my experience, it was more than a cold. It was a hell of a lot more than a cold. I'm just telling you that right now for the people who say, it's just a cold. And, you know, I've had COVID. What was you tested? I've had so many people say they've had COVID. Did you test and did you test positive? Oh, no, I didn't test or anything, but I know I had it. It's no disrespect to those people because I know the first time that I had the first round of COVID, which was like 2.5 years ago now, and they didn't know that much about it. And of course, they didn't even have the test out yet, really. And you had to go to the doctor to even get a test if they even had them back then. But I knew I had COVID because I lost my sense of smell and everything. And I had a metallic smell before I lost my smell. I had the severe fatigue and I had the fever for about 20 hours, the whole gamut. And I find out later after they tell us all these things that are happening with people that get COVID, it's like, oh, wow, I had that. I did have that. So I'm pretty sure I had COVID like 2.5 years ago, and I know I had COVID 2 weeks ago because the test came back positive. Actually, two tests came back positive. But like I said, for people that think it's just a cold, maybe some do, some get it, don't have any problem. But it got me. It got me pretty good for a couple of days, man. I was just not even right. Today's the first day I've actually felt pretty decent, pretty much back to normal. But I still kind of cough a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate you guys checking in. I'm glad that the band's going to get back together, Crossroads Saints, on the 26th of this month in February. Today's actually the 17th. So we'll be getting together a week from Saturday for a few hours and knock off the dust. We have 2 new songs that Daryl's written that we're going to put together, put in the studio here in a bit. I got like 3 songs, pieces of music that I'm going to be writing for my library. One of them may not be in the library. Maybe I'll link everything and let you guys know. The Crossroads have done pretty good still with the record. The record's been out about in August, it'll be a year. Record's been out for a while now. It's still getting great reviews, still on all the internet music sites, still up there on top in a lot of these music sites. So if you want to know about the Crossroads Saints, I have the description. I have the link below. Hit the record. Pretty good record. Daryl's talking a lot about the songs are a lot about what's going on in the world today. I mean, it really is. It's all world related, even with the Epstein thing and all that, and Maxwell going to prison and all that. Daryl was writing about that before that really happened, and that song's called "Ain't Going Down Again." So, if you want to listen to lyrics and really dig on lyrics, the music's great too. I think I'm not trying to be biased, but the music is pretty darn good. But if besides the music, you want to hear the lyric content, man, Daryl's got deep lyrics, man, and you'll really enjoy that. So I suggest, get a chance, hop on the Crossroads Saints website, check out a few of them songs. For 99 cents or something like that, download your song, you know what I mean? So, but I'm looking forward to getting back onto the music thing. Like I said, I've been playing with this new toy right here. I highly suggest it. If you're a guitar player, you want that old school sound, it even sounds good on the clean. You know what's nice about this, man? You can get that controlled feedback. In other words, it doesn't squawk, and you got like it's getting ready just to explode, and then it dies down to where it's not just squealing. It's just so great. It's like controlled. I call it controlled good feedback. This pedal does it all, and I don't work for Sweetwater Music or any place, Guitar Center or nothing, but I just love this pedal. I obviously don't get any money for Wolfie probably gets all that now, but I don't. I just love Van Halen product. This is great. I'm actually about done with the live thing today, guys. I know it's simple. Hopefully if you get a chance, check it out. If you might check it out later, just give me a thumbs up or something like that. Let me know that you're paying attention. I appreciate it. One last thing before I go, I've been looking at some cooking channels and stuff too, and those are always fun. Even my buddy Sean James, I call him my buddy because he's like a friend I don't know, but I admire Sean James' YouTube channel. Talk about him a lot up there in Canada, homestead. He's got a lot of good advice and doing a great job on his homestead. I know he's been busy with his family, helping his daughter out particularly. But he even took like 3 weeks off, no videos or nothing. And I was like, oh man, here I'm sitting at home and I'm thinking, I'll watch some Sean James. No, he's taking time off too. It's like, so I didn't even get my Sean James fix or nothing. And he has a channel called Sean James. I'm talking about the self-reliance, but his channel's Sean James. He hasn't posted anything on that for a while, and I kind of miss that because I like his commentary. I like when he talks about things. So Sean, if you're listening, man, if you get time, at least get one a month up of from the Sean James channel, because I really, really do enjoy when you talk about everyday life stuff up here in Canada. Another guy I like is the Woodland Escape guy. He's another Canadian up there, a little bit older gentleman. Does a great job. He's a historian. He's a living historian is what you call him, and I really like the Woodland Escape. You get a chance to watch that too. I may link his channel as well. The Canadians up there seem to have really good channels when it comes to outdoor stuff. And that makes sense because they got there's a lot of unexplored, there's a lot of wilderness up there, right? One last thing too, these Canadian truckers that are, I'm with you. I'm not a political guy, but I'm with you up there. I got the shots and everything. I still got COVID. I'm not saying that the shots didn't help. They probably did. I'm not anti-vax. I'm not pro-vax. I'm. You make the decision what you want to do, guy. If you want the vaccine, get it. If you don't, you should have the. That should be your choice, right? It should be your choice whether you get it or not. And Trudeau up there making a big stink about. I mean, what he should do if you're listening, Trudeau, which you're probably not, but if you listen to this channel, if I were you, if I was the Prime Minister of Canada, if I was Trudeau, here's what I would do. I would drive my car to the protest, and I would go to all of them, the truckers, and with a video, and I record and say, okay, guys, let me know what I can do. Let me know how we can, ease this problem, how we can make it better for everybody. Let me know. Instead of just being a horse's patoot and just saying, nope, this is the way it is. It's my way or the highway. And if you don't go my way, you know what? You're gonna get arrested and worse. That's not how you treat your folks, man. I'm just telling you, it's not how you treat your folks. The governments of the world need to wake up. I talk about this all the time. I want to end in the 4 minutes I got here. Same thing with the Putins of the world and all these world leaders, man. Quit being power grabs. They're all power grabs because all you're going to do is disrupt everything when you get there and do that. Ideally, the world should never have, no one should have an army in the world, right? I know we have to, unfortunately, but in an ideal world, we should never have to have an army. We should never have to fear our neighbors. We should be helping them. Concentrate that money and energy in helping each other. Everybody can be on the even plane. Everybody can live pretty darn good. You can wipe out a lot of poverty. You can still have law and order, but you wouldn't have one country dictating the other countries and trying to take over. Respect each other, but live at the same time in harmony as far as like getting along and sharing each other's resources, right? With money or whatever. But, trade, what I'm trying to say is like, just, honest trade, like with China, honest trading. I mean, I don't know why anybody's got to be like the big bad superpower. I'm the superpower of the world. I mean, we've been that way. If you're going to be a superpower for freedom. That's what we're supposed to be. And hopefully we still are. I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up despite COVID, despite heartaches and hardships and the uncertainty in the world. I pray, it gets better. But despite all that, I stay positive and I keep moving on. And if I want to take out a little aggression, I just play through the Van Halen pedal. No matter what it is that you do as a hobby, go do it because you need some time for the recreation. You need some time to set aside to forget about all this bad stuff, right? It's part of the healing process. Thanks for joining me on the live podcast today. I think I'm going to go over on the Facebook side, do something over there, chat for a minute. Guys, thanks for checking out the channel and supporting the channel. I'm going to get some guests on later. Unfortunately, I don't know how, but I did lose a subscriber. I hate that when I lose a subscriber. If the subscriber that knocked off would come on and just comment why they did, they don't have to tell me who they are, why they unsubscribed, let me know. Because if there's something they could do to change or whatever, I got an open mind, I want to share my message of commonality, if that's even a word, the common person with everybody. I want to share good, honest, wholesome, common subjects that we all face in everyday life and share them, bounce off ideas off each other. Even something simple as like what kind of coffee we drink. That's what this channel is about. And, where you can honestly just sit down. I'm not talking about one particular thing. I'm just talking about the everyday life. Like I had COVID. I'm sharing that with you guys. It's a real deal. Did you guys have COVID? If you did, how'd you do with it? That's really what my channel is about, is just get on here and we're just chatting, like sitting in a Starbucks or a coffee shop, any coffee shop, or sitting down, having a cookout and talking. That's really what I'm about, in case you're the first time ever, coming here. So anyway, thanks again, guys, for liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. I will see you next Thursday. Like I always say every week, the Lord willing, right? So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one. We'll catch you soon.